So sorry, so sorry. Is the mm. Is the audio clear now? All right, people. Good evening, Ranika, Mohammad Mujib, Prahlad, Akash, Praveen B. Pillai, Jayashri, Mishti, Advika, Simran. All right, people. So let us get into the topics of discussion today. Again, economics topics we have more again. Industrial credit growth, bank frauds, rare earth elements, global capability centers, poor manufacturing, India's exports. Under health, we have headache, cleft lip, ulcerative colitis, health for all, alcohol and tobacco, snake bites, hospitals and triple P, urban malaria, circulatory system related deaths, rabies deaths, obesity and energy, breast cancer. All right. So these are the topics that we are going to see today. Yes, once again, Happy New Year, everyone. So without any further delay, let us go into one by one to each topic. So industrial credit growth. What does this mean? Industrial credit growth simply means how many loans have been taken by the industrial sector. So if more and more loans are taken for industries to set up industries, that is a good sign that the economy is growing. Why? It will create employment. Definitely, it will increase the GDP. It will increase more money in the hands of the people. Definitely, it will contribute to innovation, research and development. So multiple things are there. So all those advantages are there. All right. So that is the concept behind it. So industrial credit growth, how has Indian economy fared so far? That is the question. And let us look into it. Credit to the services sector increase as the share of industrial credit decline. Personal loans recently, just give me a minute. Yeah. Personal loans recently surpassed industrial credit in total bank credit share. What does this mean? Credit to the services sector has increased more than the industrial sector. Not at all surprising, right? Service sector contributes to more than 50% of the GDP. So automatically, it is understandable that service sector will be, more people will be taking loan from the service sector because this is a sector that is always growing. Agreed. What about the second one? Personal loans recently surpassed industrial credit in total bank credit share. What does that mean? People are ready to take more personal loan. The number of people who are taking personal loan is on the higher side. Or banks giving loan. Personal. The other one is industrial. And very recently, what has happened? Personal loans have surpassed industrial loans. What does it mean? Simply means industrial sector is doing very poorly in our country. Very layman's terms if we have to put it. Let's take it a notch further. There is a decline in industrial credit share. 2013, it was around 42% of total bank credit. In 2024, it has come down to 23%. That obviously means what? Less industries, less employment. Look around you. Private sector, are they doing really well? Are we really having proper manufacturing or proper industries? No. That is why we are having huge unemployment. That is why majority of the people, especially the engineers, they are getting into what? Competitive exams. Share of industry. This decline is unprecedented over the last 50 years. Compound annual growth rate of nominal industrial credit. Annual growth rate. Compounded. That is year on year. How much was it growing? 74 to 90, it was around 16%. 1990 to 2004, it declined slightly. 14%. 2004 to 14, it skyrocketed, went up to 23. From 14 to 24, it is just 4.1%. I hope you would have easily saw that here it was UPA and this is NDA. This is not needed for the exam perspective. But what went wrong here? What went wrong? That also we must see, right? 14 fine government came. New government came. ठीक है. That is not going to create any major issue. But 2016, you had demonetization. 2017, you had GST. The combined effect of it actually took the economy down because a lot of uncertainty, right? How to start a industry, what are the GST rules in it, trying to figure it out. It took time. It easily took nearly 2 years just to recover from these two shocks in the economy. So by 19, slowly things have started picking up. But then 2020 December, 21, close to 22. Corona years. Got the point. 23, 24, back again, back to election years. Now 25 got over. That's it. What policy will you make out of it? Where is the credibility or where is the continuity? Very recently now new labor codes etc. has been introduced to improve the industrial development or to overall improve the labor environment in the country, making it beneficial equally for the employer and the employees. We'll have to wait for at least another 5 or 6 years to actually see the ground level changes because of these new rules. Development takes place by itself no matter which government runs currently. No, Birgon. Not at all right. Government, it is not that development will happen by itself no matter whichever government is running. No. That is actually a very wrong thing to say. It highly depends on whatever policies are made. All said and done, demonetization and GST both created shock in the economy. That is why overall demand just shrunk down. The only people who were actually not bothered by either demonetization or the GST was actually what? The middle class. Salaried middle class. Let me put it specifically. In that salaried middle class, only these people were happy about it. Not bothered about it. Monthly you are going to get your salary. So they are not going to be bothered. They know how to use, they are quite aware about how to use the QR coding, etc. Scanning a QR code or using a smartphone. Whereas majority of the country at that point of time, they were still financially or for that matter, digitally illiterate to know how to use a scanner, how to download an app. Back then, very few people knew it. Now things are changing. But then Jatka after Jatka kept on coming in. Got the point? Very good point, Shanu. This is the point. So now that is why government is trying to bring new policies which will encourage industrial growth. Mind you, this industrial growth, when you're talking about, all of this are connected to it. Mining, electricity, Even this is connected to it. If you are not mining properly, you are not having the minerals, the metals, metallic or non-metallic, whatever be it, you are not having it. You are not even having electricity. What industry are you going to run? Which industry will you run? If you actually see, the current government is actually now very keen on what, wherever mining is possible, let us get on with it. Aravalli Hills. This is the reality. It is not just Aravalli Hills. Anywhere you take now, government is very keen on what, pushing for industrial growth, pushing for manufacturing, pushing for mining. Why? Employment generation. One industry, if you set up, surrounding it, there will be development. Direct and indirect employment. But from where to do it now? Got the logic here? Regional disaggregation shows lower than average industrial credit growth in western, southern and northern regions. Western, southern and northern regions. Western, southern and northern regions. Southern, it won't be generally there. I'll tell you one reason also for that. Largely dominated by the service sector. Western, Rajasthan, Gujarat, that belt. Punjab, Haryana, agricultural belt. Northern, overall, the Gangetic Plain. Eastern, yes, possibility is there. Why? Mining areas. Entire eastern areas, if you see, Chotanagpur Plateau, that plateau, this plateau, wherever you find plateau, you find hills, you will find metals there, you will find ore there, you can do one or the other industry, you will be able to set up over there. Got the logic? Virgon, don't make it about working for the nation or not working for the nation. Nobody is talking about patriotism here. The point here is, why in the last 10 years, industrial growth did not pick up? What are the major reasons for it? Because if you notice, from the data again, 4 to 14, it was 23% credit. That many people were coming, taking the loan and they were investing in industries. 14 to 24, it is just 4.1%. This is exactly in sync with the data what we saw, what we have seen earlier with regard to FDI also. FDI, more than FDI coming into the country, FDI is going out now. That is, even the rich people sitting inside India, they are taking the money and they are going and investing abroad. They are not investing in India. Why? Low demand. Uncertainty. No clarity with the economic policies. When you keep increasing the tax, decrease the tax, vary the GST rates, etc. Whenever there is uncertainty as far as the rules of economy or polity are concerned, investors will never feel confident. That is the main reason. It is nothing to do with whether another government will run or not run. That is not the question here. Why 14 to 24 this has happened now? Why it has happened? Got the point. Lack of trained workmen, high rate of raw materials. Very good point. Higher transportation cost. Ladakh region is for lithium mining. Correct? Exactly. So the cost has also gone up. Let us get into that now. Central and northeastern regions recorded higher than average industrial credit growth due to lower initial credit shares. Lower initially, they have shown some growth because lower initial value. Initially, their value was very, very low. I have always told you, if your initial mark, so 1 out of 100 you scored. In the next exam, you scored 10 out of 100. That is a huge improvement, percentage-wise, when you calculate it. Mark-wise, it is just 9 marks have increased. Percentage-wise, when you calculate it, that is a huge increase. No broad industry group recorded double-digit industrial credit growth during 14 to 24. All broad industry groups recorded double-digit industrial credit growth during 4 to 14. That is, whoever wrote the article is basically trying to tell that, see, UPA government did better. Indirectly trying to tell. It's okay. Bank credit as a proportion of gross domestic product increased by about 20% during the late 90s. That is, again, they are just Verbatim, they are talking about the same thing. Industrial gross domestic growth and formal manufacturing gross value added growth generally move together. Means what? Simply means when you are having industrial growth, it is understood that, like a corollary, it also means what? It also means your manufacturing is also doing well. It's an understood thing. Because industry means what industry? Any industry you talk about, you need raw materials. So if the raw materials will come, means every other sector will get benefited. During this period, industrial credit growth slowed and manufacturing gross value also had a declined. Which period? 2016-17, 2018-19. Like I told you, 16 and 17, the 2 years were GST and demonetization. 18 and 19 what? Still recovering. Those were the only 2 years where industrial growth and manufacturing were at 2 different levels. But other than that, industrial credit growth slowed and manufacturing gross value added declined. Reduced. Credit to gross domestic product ratios. Japan, it is 1.2. Credit to GDP. China, 1.9. South Africa, 0.9. Brazil, 0.75. What does this mean? Credit to GDP. China's value, if you take, it is 1.9. That means credit is 1.9 times the GDP. China's total GDP, that multiplied into 1.9 is the loan taken for industrial development. Got the logic here? So are you surprised that that is why China is growing? $1.9 times the GDP. So higher the value, that is credit to GDP ratio, when this value keeps on increasing, it only shows what they have invested in. Capital expenditure. Got the logic? Industrial GDP growth remained constant during the same period between, okay, 1 minute. During the pre-pandemic period from 2004 to 2020, the correlation reached 0.82. Pre-pandemic period from 2004 to 2020, correlation reached almost till 0.82. Afterwards, it has declined. Now the data, so this data is there. That is, correlation means what? The correlation between industrial GDP growth and manufacturing. Values are given for each period. But the final, not all the data. Agnes, Preeti. See, listen, I have always told this. Don't note down entire data. We only need a few data. For example, what I have given here in this. What is Japan, China credit to gross domestic product ratio? And then this image here. Decline in industrial credit share from 42% drop to 23%. 14 to 24, it is around 4.1%. You can note it down one place. That is one choice. Second option is, look for a GS3 PYQ, where they have asked about, let us say, something about industrial growth or economy, general question, something has been asked, means for that PYQ, write an answer using this data. That is how you will do it. Current affair class doesn't mean you will write down the entire current affair. I made that blunder during my preparation. You'll keep writing, and you will end up having this big bundle. After making this big bundle, when you take the first current affair and read it, you will be like, when did I write this? When did I, note it down? You won't remember. But when you write it in an answer format, okay, economy, overall economy they are asking, or analysis they are asking about the economy. In an answer format, when you add the data, that you will remember. And these things you can always use, because this is permanent data, right? 14 to 24, 4.1, this is not going to change. Nor is this going to change. China spending 1.9, 1.2. It is never going to change. Got the logic here? The two options, either note it in separate in a data book, call it a data book, and enter these data, these values, permanent values. Don't take those values which will keep fluctuating. These values you can take it on any day. Even this question now, if a question comes also under GS paper 2 comparing things with China, you can use this data there. Got the logic? Now the last point here matters. This was actually supposed to be taken along with the last Saturday's class, that is C status. International Monetary Fund downgraded India's gross domestic product data quality to C status. Now why did IMF give a C status to it? C means it is not so great. Fundamental issue let us talk about. Only the fundamental problem here. Fundamental problem is the base here. What is the base here? 2012. What do you mean by a base year? Base year simply means a reference year. The year which you will take as a reference. For calculating maybe GDP, inflation, etc. So 2012. Now normally when a year is selected, they select it on the basis of one thing. That is that year that prices should not have fluctuated much. We need a year where inflation in the economy was moderate. Not too high, not too low. So 2012. So it looks pretty decent. Now, okay, 2012 not a bad thing. People may feel. Problem, I will tell you what is the problem. 2012, let us talk about 2012's goods and services that were there in the economy. 2012, I would say we were having Blu-ray disc to watch movies, etc. Then internet at that point, 1 GB was somewhere between 250 to 300 rupees. Basic. There was no OTT platforms. There was no online education. There was practically zero e-commerce. I'm not going to say completely zero also, because we did have a Flipkart, and then one more was the right Snapdeal, not Snapdeal. One more, Myntra. Like that, one or two e-commerce sections were there, but other than that, majority were not there. Correct? No Zomato, no Swiggy, nothing. $1 million question is, when none of this is there, how are you calculating the GDP on the basis of what then? Because if I want to know, okay, what is the projected growth for 2026, 27, I know for a fact that people are spending money on OTT. People are spending money on, let us say, e-commerce. Correct. And usage of AI, YT, YouTube. Telegram, Instagram, all this. There are people who are subscribing to things. Educational expenses have also gone on another level. 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh for schools as fees. So all this, when you take up, when you look at the goods and services that are being consumed by the people today, what am I taking the reference? I am taking this as the reference. This 2012 as the year, where these services are not there in 2012. And how do I get to know whether the country is growing, whether inflation is increasing, whether what has increased or decreased? How will I get to know? Got the logic here? That is the reason why IMF gave C status, telling that your data itself is not correct. The way you are calculating your GDP, the way you have kept 2012 as your base year, it is not correct. The government will change the base year next year. It will happen. Sorry, not next year, this year, 26. It will happen. Clear, people? Bank frauds, very quickly, data related. Number of fraud cases, if you actually see, from 36,052, it has declined to 23,879. Exact numbers are not important, at least from a prelims perspective. But yeah, from a mains perspective, sorry, what you really need to know is that yes, this has reduced. But what about the amount involved in the fraud? That has increased. Cases have got the point here. Our fundamental issue is what? As a country, what is our fundamental issue? NPR data, we don't have. Census data, we don't have. Socioeconomic caste data, we don't have. Number of who are the citizens of this country, that data also we don't have. Who are the genuine voters of this country, that also we don't have. So if you really see, on what basis is it then that we are making policies in this country? Got the logic here? When you are not having, fundamental issue is we don't have proper data. When data is not there, on what basis are you making policies? You will come up with half-baked policies then. Somehow we have to be in power. Somehow we should win the election. You will do that jugaad. That is the logic. Clear? The following Supreme Court judgment, freshly reported cases were there. But this again goes on to show that we all need to be alert. Any messages that you receive, any WhatsApp messages you get, anything that you get for that matter, unknown number means block it immediately. Number of fraud cases, April to September. 24-25 it was 18,386. 25-26 it was 5,092. Amount involved in the fraud. Cases went down. Amount increased. Card and internet frauds were the highest. Advance related frauds were 33.1%. Private sector banks involved 59.3% of total fraud cases. 70.7% public sector banks of total fraud amount. Fraud amount it is. This is cases. That is, majority of the cases came from private sector. When money wise, if you see, more than 71% came from public sector banks. How can the amount be? See, reporting is one thing. Reporting. Cases, whether it was reported. I know a fraud has occurred, but case is not registered. Getting the point here, when from one account, transactions are made to multiple accounts, I can track it down today. But the person is not ready to come and file a complaint. When you tell them also, they are saying, no, we are scared. Many cases were there like that. We are scared to complain because the so-called digital arrest, cyber arrest. We are digitally arresting you. This is the digital FIR. Old people will get scared with it. Old people, young people, they all get scared with it. Got the logic here? Card and internet frauds were largest share by number, largest share by value. Again, advanced frauds, largest share by number of cases. Card and internet fraud declined across all bank groups in both number and amount during 24-25. Overall, when you see total number of cases, when you see, it has declined. What has declined? The number of cases have declined comparatively, because these days, especially private sector banks, etc., they have multiple step verifications are there. It is no more easy to actually get money, everything out. Clear? Coming to the next topic, which is rare earth elements. Now, rare earth element, we have already discussed this topic earlier also. First thing to understand is, yes, it is available. Not so rare. It is available almost every part of the world. But then why do we call it rare? The rareness comes from the fact that it is not easy to extract it out. Now, let us say I got to know wherever I am standing. Okay, not here, maybe outside. There oil is there. All I have to do is what? Bring one big tube, start drilling it. First, gas will come out, then oil also will start coming out. I can extract it out, take it out, finished. Coal is there, I got to know. Dig a cave or whatever, send people, start taking it out, mining, done. What about this rare earth element? It is not easy. You have to actually subject it to multiple chemical processes. First, dissolving something, then from that dissolved solution, you take it out. From whatever you get it, then oxidize it. From that oxidized component, whatever has been converted into an oxide, from that then extract the metal. It is a huge energy-driven process it is. It is not at all easy, and on top of it, it is environmentally very degrading. Because chemical after chemical, you have to keep using. It is never easy. And interestingly, whatever little bit of extraction, knowledge, etc., whatever is there, who is having the monopoly in it? China. How to extract it out, how to take it out, China is not ready to say it to anybody. Even the machinery involved in drilling, boring, whatever, because this is not like your normal drilling machines and all will not work here. So those special machines, whichever are there, when that also China is like, I won't give it to anybody. Like that it is. So it is not at all easy. Let us take it up further forward. So rare earth elements are a group of 17 metals, comprising the 15 lanthanides, from lanthanum to lutetium, along with scandium and yttrium. They are not geologically rare, but occur in low concentrations and mixed forms, making extraction and separation technically complex and costly. Rare earth elements are critical inputs for modern technologies, including permanent magnets, catalysts, electronics, lighting, optics, glass, ceramics, polishing powders, and clean energy systems. You need it basically for all these purposes. You need it. It is not easy. I mean, that is the reason why it is in high demand. Neodymium iron boron magnets are the most widely used rare earth permanent magnets and are essential for high speed, high temperature motors and generators used in electric vehicles and wind turbines. That means this gentleman here, neodymium iron boron magnet. This is the component that almost everybody is behind, because you need it in electric vehicle, you need it in wind turbine. High speed motors these are. So goes without saying, it has applications even where in your electric trains, magnetic levitation trains, there also you can use it. I didn't understand. Is it a statement or is it a question? Their effectiveness in magnets arises from highly localized 4f electrons that produce strong magnetic moments and magnetocrystalline anisotropy. Let us not go into the details of it. Please confine the questions only to the current affair and discussion, Surpreet. We need not go into it. The magnetic moment as well as the magnetic anisotropy, that is a little too much of physics which we don't require here. Bottom line, I will tell you. Bottom line is, see, there is a principle called electromagnetic induction. A varying magnetic field will produce a varying electric field. Similarly, a varying electric field will also produce what? A varying magnetic field. Ecost is used in rare earth elements. I think you are trying to ask, in Seacoast, rare earth elements are present. Why are we not extracting it? I hope that is the question. If that is the question, the answer is simple. Number one, environment. It is not at all easy to extract it out. Number two, even if we want to extract it, there is $1 million question that we need to address, which is commercial viability. Commercial viability means I am extracting something for 100 rupees. I should be able to sell it for at least 101 rupees so that I get at least a 1 rupee profit. Minimum this is. At least I get 1 rupee profit, it is important. After all the cost, this, that, labor charge, everything. Whereas, most of these rare earth element, as we saw in the first part, concentration is very less. So you try to extract it, you get it, you finally sell it. What are you going to get out of it? Cost involved is more than the return, means there is no point in going for an extraction. Got the point? Yes, Shanu? Alright, moving on. 4f electrons are electrons in the 4th electron shell's f orbitals. Basic 12th standard chemistry, SPDF, orbits around an atom, or rather a nucleus. P, then D, then F. You need not bother with this. This I've just given as a for your understanding. Because those electrons are present in the 4th orbit. They are crucial for magnetism, luminescence, and heavy fermion behavior. That means it is very important for, like I told you, for high-speed motors, etc. you need it. Luminescence means light. That is emitting light. Those properties. Finally, heavy fermion. Fermions, etc. generally we come across it when we have to talk about quantum technology. So these rare earth elements, why China is hell-bent on extracting it and being a world leader in it, is not just to do with electric vehicle or high-speed trains. It has got repercussions in quantum technology also. Got the idea? Is silver considered as rare earth element? Actually, no. When we say rare earth element, like I told you in the beginning, it is the group of 17 metals comprising 15 lanthanides, from lanthanum to lutetium, along with scandium and yttrium. Core of electron properties enable sharp, stable light emissions, making rare earths valuable in phosphors and optical devices. That is, wherever light emission is required, there you need them again. Clear? Rare earth ores are typically extracted through open pit mining. Open pit mining means what? Digging it up. Literally digging it up. Not tunnel mining like for coal. Got the point? Not tunnel mining or drilling like what was happening with Aravalli. Nothing like that. It is dig it up. Large material movement and environmental risks often due to associated thorium or uranium and intensive chemical water use. That means wherever these elements are present, it is not that only those elements will be present there. You will also have radioactive presence too. I need to remove these materials, which is never going to be easy. The most strategic stage of the rare earth value chain is chemical processing rather than mining. Clear? Correct? Unlike, yeah, chemical processing means, like I told you, you have to subject it to multiple chemical processes. Without that, you cannot get rare earth element out. Unlike crude oil, rare earth elements require complex chemical separation rather than physical distillation. Processes involves beneficiation, cracking, leaching, multi-stage solvent extraction, precipitation, conversion into high purity oxides or metals. This is the last stage. Need not go for the whole chemical processes because that is a little too complex. Alright. Solvent extraction is indispensable because rare earth ions exhibit very similar chemical behavior and require repeated separation stages to achieve purity. Means what? Each and every time when a solvent is generated, take it out. Immediately take it out. You leave it there, what happens? It will become impure. You have to keep on removing it. That is the other issue here. Next. Global rare earth resources exceed 90 million tons of rare earth oxide equivalent. Major reserves are located in China, Brazil, India, Australia, Russia, Vietnam, United States and Greenland. China holds about 44 million tons of reserves. China dominates the midstream segment with around 91% of global separation and refining capacity, 94% of sintered, rare earth, permanent magnet production. That means everywhere China is leading. Countries with deposits often remain dependent on China for refining and magnet production. Rare earth elements now sit at the intersection of climate policy, industrial strategy and geopolitics at the end of 2025. That means how are things going to move further from here? This is the reason why, like I told you in one of my earlier classes, that is because China is literally dominating with more than 90% of domination in rare earth element extraction and related technology and machinery. What are other countries now doing is, including India, they are actually exploring, number one, hybrid vehicles. Number two, hydrogen vehicles. Hydrogen vehicles, pretty much it will become a reality before 2030. I will guarantee you. Before 2030, it will become a reality. Like how initially when we saw the first electric car on the road, we were like, hey, electric car, like that. Hydrogen cars will become a reality. That is where we are headed. Not only us, almost every major country is headed. Because interestingly, if you see, one of the biggest car manufacturers in the world, Toyota, they have not invested in electric cars. If you actually notice. But since a very long time, as far as I remember, at least minimum 15 to 20 years ago, they are doing research on hydrogen fuel cell. And they are doing that research in not any small car. They are testing it out in their biggest SUV, Land Cruiser. In that, they are testing it. So pretty soon, Toyota or the Japanese will come out with a solution. Hydrogen cells. Once that comes out, it is game over. Exactly. Very good. The hydrogen trains are already a reality. That is the reason why I told this. The statement also I made for that reason only, that in another 5 years you can expect vehicle, because now you are able to make it for a rail, for a train means hydrogen fuel cell, because petrol, it vaporizes immediately. Fumes are enough. Anywhere, nearby vicinity, anywhere the fumes are there, one spark is there, boom, it will light up like anything. It is not like how they show it. What the logic here, people? It's very difficult to enjoy movies when you have a brain of UPSC. Although they are not the largest materials by volume in the clean energy economy, a small subset has become indispensable. Principal bottleneck in the global supply chain is high performance, permanent magnets rather than mining. This is what everybody is behind. High performance, permanent magnet. That is what everybody wants. Why? Electric car, wind turbine, high-speed train. Disruptions in magnet-related rare earth supply transmit shocks across the entire economy. The supply chain structure explains China's continued centrality despite new discoveries elsewhere. Countries are therefore prioritizing refining and magnet-making capacity in addition to mining. India's late 2025 strategy reflects this shift by focusing on magnet manufacturing. India is also slowly changing its gears. That is, we are not, domestic companies are there who are now manufacturing electric vehicles. Tata, Mahindra. Correct. Plenty of electric vehicles. They are like Papad, they are releasing these electric vehicles every 1 week. One new model. Tata to probably every month. Here, Tata Sierra. No, next, one more model. They keep doing it. So domestically, we are encouraging electric vehicle. Clear. Rare earth element extraction, mining. Then you have to crush and mill it, or you take the entire ore, chemical process and extraction. After that, whatever solvent comes from the top, that you take out. Where again precipitation and purification, oxidation, all of that is done. Only then you get the final rare earth element. That is why somebody, I am not sure which guy who told this, he actually said that when people say petrol and diesel are very environmentally polluting, releases NOx, nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter, and they say that electric vehicles, EV is the solution, when they say, start counting from the point of mining onwards. Environmental damage done by rare earth element, start counting it, or electric vehicles, start counting it from the mining onwards. And from mining onwards, when you start counting it, right, mining, the chemicals, etc., the pollution levels caused by electric vehicle or for the extraction of rare earth element, that will be very, very high. Because this will involve deforestation, dust, particulate matter, chemical processes, the wastage, it will lead to groundwater leaching. All that when you put it together, electric vehicle are almost equally, if not more polluting than an petrol or diesel engine. Got it? Taking it further forward. Now, what are 7,280 crore scheme targets the creation of an integrated ecosystem to produce 6,000 tons of sintered rare earth permanent magnets annually. Domestic magnet production would reduce high impact import dependence. It would also support downstream manufacturing in electric vehicles, wind energy component, advanced electronics. India's main domestic rare earth sources, monazite bearing beach sand, available in Kerala as well as parts of TN. Monazite occurs alongside thorium and other minerals linked to nuclear program. This subjects rare earth development to stringent governance and regulatory oversight. Waste management and community engagement becomes core industrial inputs rather than ancillary concerns. That means it is not easy. That is the whole point at the end of the day. Even to extract these monazite signs from the thorium from monazite signs of Kerala, it is not at all easy. 1950s itself we have found out. We are having thorium. But we have not been able to extract it out because it is not easy, number one. Number two, India's nuclear, 3-stage nuclear cycle, it is still stuck in the first stage. Second and third stage, we are yet to implement it. Western Ghats, that is the other reason, obviously. Clear, people? Any questions? Moving on. National Critical Mineral Mission has allocated multiple exploration projects up to 2031. Exploration alone is insufficient without conversion into separation, refining, and manufacturing capacity. This conversion requires regulatory clarity. Okay. Please go through it. Just general points only. Nothing major. No facts are there. Global Capability Centers. GCC. Let us see what this is. They are offshore subsidiaries of multinational corporations operating in India. GCC. Global mining contribute to decrease in carbon space. Yes, Ranjita. What about CNG vehicles, sir? Good, bad. Compressed natural gas. It is good. Natural gas is nothing but largely it contains what? Methane, butane. So that is like a clean fuel. It does not produce your NOx and SOx. Just produces carbon dioxide. Only danger is if carbon dioxide is burnt in insufficient oxygen, carbon monoxide may get released. But that is like a very, very, very minute quantity. Otherwise, CNGs are very, very clean. Clear? So, offshore subsidiaries. Subsidiaries means what? There will be a main branch which will be in USA. Bangalore will have a Kuti branch, a small branch. Global capability centers are currently the main source of growth in India's technology job market. True. So when more and more foreign companies will start their subsidiaries here in India, especially Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, Noida, Gurugram, those are good news. Large Indian information technology firms are experiencing a hiring slowdown. No doubt about it. AI, how we are looking at coding is changing. Coding earlier, see, for example, now these images, if you see, these images is a classic example for that. I gave data, took the data from the newspaper, I gave data to ChatGPT. So latest data, see, the problem I will tell you where ChatGPT will go wrong. When you ask ChatGPT, okay, generate an image for Global Capability Center, if you tell, ChatGPT or even Gemini or whichever, Perplexity, whatever, they will pull out all the images whichever is there in internet. You may feel, okay, this image came, ChatGPT gave it is correct. That image could be wrong. Ulta, you read the newspaper, you find the fact, you pull the fact out, then you give the facts to ChatGPT, you generate the image. Doesn't end there. Check it again. Because sometimes ChatGPT will add its own values. It will do all that nonsense. So you have to cross check it. But all said and done, I don't know coding. I don't even have to know the coding for all of this. Earlier, before AI was available, you had to know coding. You needed to know coding and only then you could generate text to image conversions. Now it is no more required. Whatever it is, you just give it. It will come out. So that is the reason why hiring has slowed down, especially in IT sector. And if hiring slows down in IT sector, what will happen? You will have more number of people coming for government job. If that was not enough, very recently, 8th pay commission. What is the prediction now? Group D level, drivers, peons, etc. Starting salary will be 50,000 rupees per month. When we hear it, 50,000, wah! 50,000 is 10 years or 12 years ago, 25,000. So nothing great about it, to be very honest. But then 50,000 rupees per month you get. You don't even have to worry about whether you will lose your job. Automatically what will happen? More people will come for it. Growth of global capability centers is driven by a shift towards high value and specialized work. That is the logic. That is only those who are really talented, who are staying updated in their skills, high value, and doing specialized work. They will be hired now. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Got the point? Correct? So, this let us see. Growth in global capability centers. Global capability centers recorded a sequential growth of 5 to 7%. 48% of global capability centers planned workforce expansion in the following year. India currently hosts about 1,850 global capability centers. Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities have experienced notable global capability center growth. For example, now, to solve the problem of traffic issue, congestion issue, like I told you earlier, in Bangalore, etc., per month rent, I have friends actually who are paying more than 1 lakh in a month as rent. I am not joking. So some of the students used to ask me, sir, kya sone ka ghar hai kya? No, it is not made out of gold. It is mamuli ghar. 2 BHK, 3 BHK, whatever. But still, you are paying what? 1 lakh in a month. So it has become literally unsustainable to the point where real estate prices are here, rent is here, food prices are high, everything is high. The very recently, Karnataka Chief Minister came with a solution. Basically told that if you're shifting your office to Mysore or to other cities other than Bangalore, from Bangalore, if you're shifting your office, we will give you some limited period offer. Tax rebate will be there. Internet charges we won't ask you. Registration fees you need not pay. Land only this much you need to pay. Like that, he literally made every offer possible. We'll have to see whether any companies will take up on the offer or not. Why? To reduce the congestion here. And this is the best way, right? That is, people from Mysore are coming to Bangalore. But if you are having good companies in Mysore, people will stay there only. Bangalore's density will come down, population density. Same thing for Mumbai. Pune is having more and more IT parks, means number of people traveling from Pune to Mumbai will reduce, and more people who will come to, there will be people who will go to Pune rather than Mumbai. Got the logic? So everywhere they are trying to space it out. Cities such as Nagpur, Indore, Coimbatore and Kochi recorded a quarterly growth of 8 to 9%. Global Capability Center expansion is decentralizing the technology workforce beyond major metropolitan cities. Why? Why are they moving into Nagpur, Indore, Coimbatore, Kochi? I'll tell you the reason. See, if let us say I am hiring somebody from Kochi. Okay. If I offer him probably 50,000 rupees per month, he will be very happy. I'll tell him once in a blue moon you come to the office. Weekly, twice only you come. Because guys from Kochi. So he is a localite. What is the advantage? He'll be happy with the salary. 50,000 or even 40,000 also he will be happy. Because he's coming from his home. No rent issue. Food issue is also not a problem. From home he can carry his food. What is the advantage for the company? If I had to hire a same guy, maybe in a very big city like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, etc., I'll have to pay a higher salary there. Because Bangalore salary package is different from Kochi package. City, expense, all that needs to be catered to. Advantage for the company. Clear? Correct? Future global capability centers in India by 2030. These centers employ nearly 2 million professionals. That is 20 lakh. India is projected to have more than 2,400 global capability centers by 2030. That is not at all surprising. See, one thing what we are all good at is we have been churning out engineers, employees year after year. So the IITs, the JEEs, the NITs, they will all give us engineers, which foreign companies will be needing. Why will they not hire their people? Population is less in all those countries. That is a simple logic. Here what we have is plenty is population. That is skilled population. Perfect for them. Who will work overwork. AI powered real estate business. How will you do AI powered real estate? See, those sectors where human to human contact is needed. That will never be replaced by AI. That is a reality. That is, can a robot come and teach you current affairs tomorrow? Maybe yes. A robot will be able to tell you these are the latest current affairs. Oh my god, there is a bomb attack took place in Europe right now. It may tell you. But with what will you be comfortable with? Online there is boom. Online education is there. Even when you say there are plenty of students, for example, even if I just tell now, okay, tomorrow I will be available in Chandra layout to take current affairs special class. I'm pretty sure at least 50 to 60 students will come over there, line up over there from other academies. Why? You're seeing in flesh. You're seeing the person in flesh. So service sector where human to human contact is essential, that cannot be replaced by AI. Bottom line is that will never be replaced by AI. Even if it comes also, people will go back to the old mode. Just like, for example, simplest example I will tell you. Initially, when smartwatches came out, everybody will like smartwatch. Later, you have to charge your phone, you have to charge the smartwatch. Sometimes if the battery dies, then again you have to reinstall the app. Headache. And who needs it, by the way? Ambani doesn't wear. Then what are we doing wearing a smartwatch? Once again, people started moving to the analog watches. Original, first time ki zarurat hai. I don't want to know who gave me a missed call, whose message has come. I don't want to know. Simple. So excessive technology will not actually reduce the demand for human contact in service sector. Period. Employment in global capability centers is projected to touch 30 lakh workers by 2030. Projected market size of global capability centers by 2030 will be 125 billion. That is the logic. Companies are also very, very chalu. See, the thing is now, everywhere protectionism is there. We have already discussed this. Most countries don't want, no, we don't want any immigrants. That is how they are behaving these days. The companies are like, fine, we cannot hire them, right? No, you cannot hire. Fine, I'll go and put up my business there. That you cannot stop now. Why? You have signed an FTA. India signed FTA with New Zealand. India signed FTA with Oman. FTA with UAE. Now when we are negotiating with our mega monkey, Mr. Trump. FTA we are signing everywhere. Free trade agreements. Why? We have created loopholes whereby which we want these companies to come and set up their business here. Automatically what happens? Global capability centers will come in. Correct? Clear? Salaries in global capability centers are 12 to 20% higher than those offered by traditional information technology service firms. Global capability centers, banking, insurance companies, etc. Even in insurance also, foreign companies. We saw earlier poor industrial credit growth. Correct. We saw the reasons also, 14 to 24. What are the reasons? Technology transfer is a necessity for skilled labor to work. Not necessarily, Arjun. Here, you don't have that much of technology transfer is not involved here. For example, I will tell you, my wife is working with Wells Fargo. It's an American banking company. They have their office here. Office in the sense, in Bangalore, they have their land, huge building, very big building. Software, etc. are made in USA. Whatever programming they make. Alright, they don't have a back-end IT team here. They have it here, but of no use actually, because they don't contribute anything. Their only job is whatever program US people makes to find the error there. Find the error, bugs, then revert back. They will never share the details completely. Why? They don't want to share it for the simple reason that if they share it, then we will make it. Once we make it, they will lose their job. So what they are doing is, they are making the coding, they are making the skill set, whatever is required, they'll make it there. Just to support their business, they are hiring Indians here. To support their business. So, literally, if you see, my wife or her colleagues, their entire Indians who are working for Wells Fargo in Bangalore, they are actually catering to which crowd? US crowd. It's not that Indian customers are there. There are no Indian customers or Indian accounts. They are all dealing with what? US customers, US accounts, which involves not only banking, even investment, share market, etc., stock market, bonds, all that. All that it is involved there. No technology transfer is there. That they will never do. They want high skill set people. That they want. People who can speak English, people who can communicate well, make presentations well, can use AI tool, is aware of the latest updates. That they will hire from India. But they will never ever share their technology or their know-how. What is the coding behind it? What is the secret behind their program? Never they will do that. Because that is almost like chopping their own leg. Got it? Poor manufacturing. Earlier we saw poor industrial credit growth. China is spending almost 2 times their GDP for loan only, just to encourage industrial development. We saw also that wherever, if you are having poor industrial growth, you will also have what? Poor manufacturing. What is the main reason for it? Let us see. Weak industrialization to wage and price dynamics created by government policy. See, the problem I will tell you now. The next problem. MG Narega you created. Okay. Whether you work, whether you don't work, people will have what? Money at the end of the day. Whatever one may say, Narega, we can all agree on one thing. 8 lakh crore has been spent on Narega. Not the total amount. I am talking only about what has been spent by the current government. From UPA onwards, if you start counting, it will run into a very huge amount. So 8 lakh crore has been spent. Where is the asset? What asset has been made? Practically nothing. Other than probably cleaning the drainage or rainwater to pass through, maybe cleared some weeds, cut some trees or grass. They have hardly created any asset. Now let me give the perspective here. If I am going to tell you, or in a rural area, let us say they are paid around maybe 250 rupees per day for 8 hours. Alright, for 8 hours work, they are paid 250 rupees. There is an industry or a factory. That factory is telling that you have to work for, let us say, 12 hours shift it is. They have permission. 12 hour shift it is. For per day you will be paid maybe 500 is too much. 300 rupees. This is Narega. This is manufacturing. Which one will people prefer? MG Narega. Correct. They'll basically prefer this because the point is not about 250 or 300. The point is, who is talking about working here? Who actually works for 8 hours in Narega? Show me that person. I'll give an award for that person. Because as far as I have seen, be it in the state of Kerala, and I've asked even people here, my students here in Karnataka, or my students in Tamil Nadu or Assam, wherever it is, all of them unanimously have answered, sir, we have never seen them working hard. They sit simply. North to south, east to west. Apart from cricket, Pakistan and Bangladesh, one more factor that unites all of us is what? Narega. Inefficiency. So, bete, without doing any work when I'm going to get 250, why will I go and do hard work in an industry or a manufacturing sector? Why should I do it? Getting the logic here. See, government is thinking only about what? Bhala. But when I have to do only minimum work, why will I have to what? Worry about this here. So this wages that is set by, and other issue I will tell you. When without doing anything, I'm going to get 250. Maybe for a 1 hour or a maybe for a 1 hour or a very good. Who is that? Arjun. Wonderful Arjun. 250. Without doing any work, I'm going to get means. Why the hell will I agree for 300? I will demand, right? 500 you give me. Exactly. Exactly the point. So they will demand a higher wage. And for small manufacturing units or even large manufacturing units, why will they start paying a high wage? Got the logic here? See, there is a reason that pharmaceutical companies have not set up their factories here in India. US pharmaceutical companies, European pharmaceutical companies, they don't have their manufacturing units in India. Even when you talk about Nike, Adidas, etc., those sports brands, where are their showrooms or where is their stitching work done? Bangladesh, Vietnam, why not in India? Why are they not manufactured in India? Wages are high. Got the logic here? Just give me a minute. My apologies, people. Yeah. So, like I told you, automatically when the wages are so high, who will actually what? Who will actually set up their industry here? Who will actually set up their manufacturing here? They won't. See, not questioning that is because the entire money comes from center only. That was the reason. That was the reason. All right. Further details, please visit last to last week's current affair class. Weak industrialization to wage. Price dynamics created by government policy. Price dynamics means price is another reason. Cost of raw materials. Unpredictable GST rate. And as some of you have already pointed it out, high transportation cost, logistics cost, all that is very high in India. So why will anybody get into manufacturing? Manufacturing means I should have access to raw materials easily. I should have access to transportation facilities. I should have access to the port so that I can export it easily. When these facilities are not there, obviously who will be interested in it? Basically, government doesn't want to listen to bureaucracy. Means I didn't get that. This concept can be understood using the concept of Dutch disease. Who are the Dutch, by the way? Who are the Dutch? No, the comments are not off. It's just that I'm seeing it now. That's all. Who are the Dutch? Denmark. Netherlands, huh? Denmark people. Okay. So what happened in Netherlands or Denmark is that they discovered oil. Okay. They discovered oil. Investments started coming into the country. Foreign players, etc. They started coming because oil has been discovered. Okay. Investments started coming in. So whoever is trying to invest, let us say dollar, pound, yen, Saudi Riyal. Okay, not Saudi Arabia, but yeah, maybe other countries. All these currencies are coming into the country of Denmark because they discovered oil there. What will happen now? Because foreign currencies are coming in. What will happen to Denmark's currency? First of all, tell me what is Denmark's currency? Okay, current currency. Yeah, you are right. It is euro. Fine. Currently, it is euro. But anyway, before euro, Denmark did have a currency. But whatever, Denmark's currency will appreciate. Correct, Suman? Krone. Very good. This will appreciate. Appreciate. How? Silent UPSC prep. It will actually appreciate. Because everybody, if I want to see, basically, why are we telling that we need FDI? Because the more foreign players comes over here, they will have to buy the land here. So an American banking company, if they have to buy the land here, they are going to do what? They will exchange their dollar. They'll say, take the dollar, give me rupee. I need to buy that Indian land. Indian currency value will go up. Similarly, here Denmark's currency value started appreciating. But I have told you what is the problem with appreciation. When a currency starts appreciating, it is good for which sector? It is bad for which sector? Good. Nirupama Nandi, Asra, High Action, Silent UPSC. More imports, less exports. Very good, Praveen. Import will increase. Sadhana, good. ज़्यादा दिमाग नहीं चाहिए, थोड़ा कम कर दो, थोड़ा. Correct. It will actually increase the imports and it will reduce the exports. Literally the same thing happened here. Literally here, domestic industry started getting shut down one by one because they were not getting proper return. Ulta, it became cheaper to buy from outside because it was oil. Investments were pouring in. But what happened to the currency? Currency just shot up like anything. Everybody thought, this is wonderful. Our currency is becoming strong. No. Gradually, the increase should have been. Sudden appreciation led to what? Adversely, it affected the exports. Positively, it impacted the imports. Domestic industry started getting shut down, started creating unemployment. Imagine that scenario. Your currency value is very high, but you are having very high unemployment. That combined effect is the right. High currency value, high value for your currency, high level of unemployment, high level of imports. Together, it came to be known as what? Dutch disease. Got the point here? Dutch disease. And generally, this is associated. So, Dutch disease also, if you see, what was the cause of it? A natural resource. A natural resource was the cause of it. But everybody, because of the natural resource, started investing in it. Currency appreciated, the whole thing happened. The author of this article is trying to make one such link. Higher prices appreciate the real exchange rate, meaning domestic goods becomes expensive relative to foreign goods. Imports rise, exports weaken, and manufacturing output declines. Similar effect can occur without natural resources. Expansion of non-tradable sectors such as government services can raise wages and domestic demand. That is in India's case what is happening. India's case, it is not really because of any natural resource, etc. There's only one thing. Wages are very high in the government sector. Even today, if you see, I have students who are actually approaching me, sir, I don't want to work in private. I will be like, why? Sir, no, this thing. Government means salary is also good. Utna kaam nahi hai. Yeah, there are people who are actually preparing for government job because of that. We are unfortunately a country where people are happy to remain inefficient and incompetent and get nice salary. We are a generation like that. I mean, not a generation. We are, as a people, we are like that. I want to be inefficient. I want to be incompetent, but I need good salary. Demand for government job is high. Opposite scenario, opposite side, even if you have a manufacturing job is there, it is providing you with a decent salary, not a very high salary. Decent salary. Provision for growth is there, but you will have to work very hard. You will need extra qualification. You will have to work overtime. All that is there. People have no preference for it. Reason is this. Clear? Manufacturing then struggles to match these wages at current productivity levels. Higher domestic prices increase demand for cheaper imports under free trade. Even if nominal exchange rate is unchanged, real exchange rate appreciates. What is this nominal exchange rate? What is real exchange rate? Nominal exchange rate means what is the current rate? $1 is how much rupees today? Correct, Praveen? People. So all mehnat, no mehnat, and they want good marks. Correct? $1 is how much? 91. This is nominal effective exchange rate. All right. What is the price of one? One Mac chicken burger. Mac chicken burger means one McDonald's chicken burger. What is the price of it in USA? And what is the price of it in India? Happy 90. Chalo. आगे बताओ. Tell me what is the price in USA. Tell me the price what is in India. I think I will only have to do the checking here. In USA, the lowest price is around $3. In India, they say it is between rupees 100 to 200, which is not true actually. As far as I remember, whenever I have bought a burger from there, it has always it has managed to hit about 200 rupees. But anyway, $3 they are saying. $3 means price of one burger in India should be around 270 rupees. This is what it means. USA, it is $3 means price of a burger in India should be 270 rupees. But in India, let us say it is only 200 rupees. So the burger is cheaper in India. Burger is cheaper in India. That means if I am actually comparing the inflation, if I am going to see price rise, if I am going to see India, it is cheaper compared to USA. Or in other words, real effective exchange rate when I see let us say it is 180 rupees. Real effective exchange rate when I say it is basically what near adjusted for inflation. It tells me what is the ground level reality of the goods, of the prices of goods and services in both the countries. Ground level reality. Oof. Aha. Got the logic here. This is what is the current rate. Today we saw what is the rate. But ground level, when you go to purchase something, what is the price of it in India? What is the price in USA? There is a huge difference between the two. Based on that, some products can be cheaper in India. Some products can be costlier in USA. For example, forget this burger, etc. When you actually move around, that is when the US vloggers come over here, right? And when somebody says, what is it? How much for the tea? And our chai wala, suddenly looking at the Gora fellow will say, 50, 50 rupees, 50, pi zero, pi zero. The US guy will be immediately like, that means less than some, it's hardly 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents. Something he will be mentally thinking, oh, that's hardly 60 cents, 70 cents. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right, all right. And we will be mentally thinking, yaar, 50 rupee, what nonsense. It's your chai. That too, in that small cup only he will be giving it. And we will be telling, hey, he's fooling you. It's only 10 rupees. But the US fellow is thinking, wow, what an awesome chai for 50 cents. My God, what a nice chai I have received. Because in US, it is practically impossible. $2, $3, you have to pay for the world's most wahiyad chai in USA. India, you don't have that issue. Got the logic here? So, real effective exchange rate adjusts near for what? With inflation. Got the logic? This will tell you the real story ground level. This will tell you what is the rate. Now, near increases, rear increases. What does it imply? Samosa for rupees 200. No wonder all the samosa walas, all these people are buying properties worth crores together. Absolutely. Near increases, rear increases. What does it imply? It only implies one thing. Don't have to break your head to that level. It implies what? Domestic currency is appreciating. Remember this always. Near is increasing, rear is increasing. It simply means domestic currency is appreciating, increasing. All right. I know. Sometimes people will be like, but sir, increase means $1 when it becomes 91. No, that time you don't call it increase, you call it decrease only. That means rupee effective exchange rate when you calculate, you're calculating on the basis of what? What are you calculating it on the basis of? You're calculating it on the basis of rupee value, from rupee perspective. So where rupee is growing in strength, you will actually say it what? Near is increasing or rear is increasing. Remember that. Don't get confused. Which also means what? Trade competitiveness is decreasing. Why trade competitiveness will decrease? Because your exports will go down and your imports will increase. Remember that. That's now I finished explaining Patil, Harshal, Bharat, Vanshi. My God. Prepare for both, Meenakshi. Clear with this? Okay. Moving on. This is just the explanation, whatever I have said so far. Induced innovation theory states that labor scarcity and high wages can push firms to adopt new technology. अब ये क्या है? That is, let us say, Asra Farheen. So Asra is a very rich individual. Asra. He is having some 10,000 crore worth money with her. Okay. She has no better work. Coconut fell on her head and she lost her good buddhi. So she decides to what? Invest in India. Then she gets to know what? The labor charges are labor is very costly here. Labor prices are very costly here. But she is having 10,000 crore with her. And she needs to set up her manufacturing unit. What will she do? Labor is very costly. Then the next option is what? Next option automatically would be to invest in technology. Correct? That will be the next best thing to do. But we already know one thing. What is the expenditure made by the government of India on research and development in our country? R&D. What is R&D expenditure as a percentage of GDP? What is R&D? How much do we spend on research and development? Less than 0.3. Check that again. 0.8. Very less means how much? That's pretty much correct. 0.6, 0.6 to 0.7 percentage. Where research and development is so less. This is the R&D for India. Can anybody tell me what is the R&D for China? How much does China spend as a percentage of GDP on research and development? China's. Give me the Chinese value now. Percentage of GDP. Give me as a percentage. Value, if you take, it will be very difficult. 2.26 percentage. Fine. 2 to 3 percentage. Let us say 2.5 to 3 percentage. Look at the difference. Look at the difference there. Now tell me, Asra, okay, with 10,000 crore in her hands, she finds out that in India, labor cost is very high. Technology, if you see, we don't have half of the machines what everywhere in the world it is being used. Where the world has moved on to the next set of machinery, in India, the old machines, we are still using them. We have not moved on to the latest machines. Will Asra continue to invest in India, or will Asra go to China? That is the next question. Because either labor should be cheap or technology should be available. Both are not there. So will Asra stay in India or will Asra go to China? Simple. Got the logic here? It is as simple as that. This is what is happening in this country. Got the logic? So when people have to take, yes, we have an English speaking crowd who will work very hard, etc. Chinese are already there. And in China, what is the comedy? China, labor is also less. Labor cost is also less. Technology is also high. A rare blend. A very rare blend. Generally, that is not the case. In Japan, it is the ulta. Japan actually has this problem. Japan labor cost is very, very high. That is why their technology, they have improved it to that level. Minimum manual intervention for everything. Because machines, robots, electronics, programming, everything will take care of itself. China, population rate. Huge population. That is why no value. Just like in our country. So there is a section of the population. So China also provides you with that stark economic inequality. Shanghai, Hong Kong, all those places when you go, you find, wow, what cities, Beijing, etc. Man, what cities. You will find all the most custom-made supercars. Very rare color, etc. you will find there. On another side of the city, you will also find poor people. Both you will find there. Why? Population. So China has this rare blend. Automatically what will happen? Their manufacturing will shoot up. They can afford to actually spend what? 1.9 times the GDP on credit as loan for industrial growth. Got the logic here, people? Absolutely. See, ultimately for an investor, it is not about Bharat Mata ki jai or China Mata ki jai. For them, it is like whoever is giving them better return, they will go for that. It is as simple as that. Clear? Okay. This particular article, I have not marked anything. Wonderful. This particular article, this is basically about India's exports. Okay. What does it say? Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and UP together account for nearly 70% of India's export. Note that. Alright. Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. One interesting candidate here is UP because all these states, if you see, they have coastal area. Ports they have. Mumbai, Kandla, Chennai, Mangalore. UP also helps in exports now. But what is the problem? Just these 5 states account for 70% of India's exports. 70%. That means the remaining 20 plus odd states and union territories account for 30% or less than 30%. Got the logic here? So will it be surprising that in these states you are going to find high level of influx of population? People will be rushing to these states because these states are export oriented, accounts for 70%. Therefore, they'll also be providing the employment opportunities. Opportunities are confined to these states now. Correct, Arjun? See, I'm telling you, UP is changing. Oh, UP, sir, UP is changing. Trust me. UP is no more the old UP. You wait and watch. UP is going to give panga for other states. In a short while, this is going to happen. Almost all the major sectors now, including IT hubs, if you see, are coming up there. To improve the tourism there, you already have, that Ayodhya, Ram Temple, etc. coming up. That's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. Got the logic here? The only thing, see, basically UP was always having the main, component, strength for manufacturing facilities. What was that? Population. But because of poor law and order and poor job opportunities there, people in UP were actually traveling out, just like how it is in Bihar. Now that has started to reverse. Once law and order has been made proper, once predictability has been brought into the picture, things have started stabilizing now. And as the old saying goes, जिसका पेट भरा है, उसको किस बात का शिकायत? English version. The stomach is filled. Who will be having a problem then? You need to be a mental patient of another level to actually have an issue even when you are eating well. Have you ever noticed you will never feel bad after eating a good biryani? Non-vegetarian biryani. Biryani means non-veg. Vegetarians, for you people, it is pulao. There is nothing called as veg biryani. Understand that. So, after eating something good, full, you won't have any issue. UP is moving in that direction now. But what is the problem because of this? Problem is, this is not going to create competition. Because the competition is just confined to around 5 states only. What about the rest of the states? Not at all bothered. Because other states, if you see, they are either leading in IT service industry or service sector basically. So they are not at all bothered. Then, agriculture. Punjab, Haryana, Andhra, Telangana, these states. Getting the point here. So these states, they have other things which they are focusing on. They are not so keen on what? Improving exports. State-wise, until and unless we don't focus on improving our exports, how will we actually grow as an economy? Is the question. Yes, to encourage things now, like I have told you already, with New Zealand FTA, UAE, we have signed FTA. With Oman, we are signing FTA. With UK, we have already signed it. We are planning one with European Union, with other countries. Getting the point here? Because it is an insult to biryani. Understand? True biryani lovers will understand. Ek biryani ki कीमत tum kya jano, pulao babu? Alright. Around 5 years earlier, the same group contributed about 65% of national exports, indicating rising concentration. That means the same 5. Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, UP. So Gujarat, come down to Maharashtra, come down to Karnataka, don't go to Kerala. From Karnataka, jump to Tamil Nadu. Because Kerala, the same issue. Labor prices are very high over there. Got the logic? Labor costs are very, very high. So you cannot have any manufacturing export and all from the state of Kerala. It is going to be very difficult. I want to export something. These are my options. And UP. Why? Labor is cheap. Comparatively. These 5 states contributed last year 65% of the exports. Now it is what? Now it is 70%. Around 5 years earlier, the same group. Okay. Coastal states in the western and southern regions are integrating more deeply into global supply chains. Large parts of northern and eastern India are increasingly decoupled from the export regime. It means they are not part of it. Merchandise trade growth is slowing, 0.5 to 3%. Projected range merchandise trade growth. That is, merchandise trade growth is slowing means what? Overall global trade is slowing down. No surprises here. We are aware of it. Global trade is literally slowing down. Russia-Ukraine war, Gaza issue. And now, thankfully, we are having one Kujili next now. Next Kujili will start. Bangladesh. I mean, optimism, I'm telling you people, how much big of an optimism you need to have. You need to have the optimism of a Bangladeshi. To think that they are the protectors or the leaders of Indian Ocean. To think that they can go and conquer Northeast. You know, that level of optimism you need in life. Got the logic here? Yes, US tariff. Very good. Thank you for reminding. UNTD. Top 10 exporters control 55% of global trade. We are not one among them. Don't worry. Global capital is shifting focus from low-cost labor to high economic complexity, which refers to diversity and interconnectedness of an economy's export basket. So it is not easy actually. Diversity it is. That is, diversity means you are now trying to send your exports as much as possible to other places. Yeah, see, obviously Iran issue. Excuse me. Iran, Venezuela, all that you can add up. That's what I'm telling. Whenever you are having all these skirmishes, wherever you are having all these tussles, it's not easy to carry on trade smoothly. Economies with dense and diverse export structures are better positioned to move into higher value production. So in India's case, let me tell you, or let me rather recall and recollect it for you. Our exports actually improved in November month. In spite of this US tariff, our exports increased. Then why did we have a huge current account deficit? Our current account deficit had nothing to do with exports. Exports actually improved. It was because of gold and silver imports. Exports actually showed improvement when? In November 2025. And with the current FTAs that has been signed again, rest assured, next year we are going to see a surge in exports. Exports will increase even further. No doubt about it. Step by step, at least it will improve. But what will be the ulta problem there? Again and again, people will continue to buy gold and silver. That means what we are seeing right now, 90. My prediction for next year Indian economy is it will touch 95 probably by next January 2027. There is a high chance for it. Because people will not have any trust. At least till some major changes happens in the economy or in the world economy, people will not show trust or faith in Indian economy. It will take some few more years. And again, an election year is coming. So there will be uncertainty, etc. That will create trouble. Clear? Venezuela topic, hardly anything is there. It is basically that Trump wants to, capture Venezuelan oil market there. That is why he is, in the name of taking action against drugs, he is indulging in military operations. Number one, whoever is the president right now in Venezuela, he has little support, very little support from the people actually. That is why Trump is betting on this. So the idea is simple. So if I am that very irresponsible Venezuelan president, let us say I am the one, public support is very less. I will lose my power anytime now. On top of it, externally also, when if Trump is attacking my ships, attacking my oil tankers, etc., nobody is going to come to my rescue. Russia is anyway stuck with Ukraine. China is not going to come. Nobody is going to come. Now outside also I have trouble, inside also I will have trouble. Finally, what will happen? I will get assassinated or I will be arrested and I will be given capital punishment. USA will say, in the name of establishing democracy or human rights, they will put a puppet government there who will take decisions or policies in favor of USA. That's it. Long story short, utna hi hai. Nothing to do with democracy and all. Show me one country where US intervened and that country became like that country started doing really well. They intervened in Iraq. Iraq became one garbage now. Libya became a garbage now. So much so that the original Libyan people, the Libyan people and the Iraqi people today, what they are telling is, the things were far better when Saddam Hussein or Gaddafi was in power. Saddam Hussein was a dictator. So was Gaddafi. But they are telling at least some rule was there. Something was available. We were able to buy things. We were able to eat things. We were able to still live. Now we are unable to live. There is nothing there. That is the bottom line. Clear? As simple as that. Fixed capital investment, if you see, it has gone up by 10.6%. Whereas employment generation, if you see, it is only 7.4. What does this indicate? People are investing. Capital investment is increasing. Where? In industries. But the rate at which this is growing, that same rate, this is not growing. Growth in employment is only very limited. Got the logic here? Oh, correct. See, future metal, even I have seen such videos, etc., where people have said that gold, silver, it will replace dollar. It is really impossible. At the current rate, it is impossible. Gold and silver again coming back into picture, it is simply not possible. Just go through macroeconomic textbook, NCRT. There it is clearly given how we have moved from gold system, gold as an exchange system, to US dollar. It is clearly given there. Please go through it. Number one. Number two, gold and silver, will it collapse because of the high prices? No, it won't. Because gold, no matter how much the price is, people will still buy it. Look this year. The increase in gold import compared to last year. This year, how much was the increase in gold import? 200%. Not 100. Not. In other words, today, if I am investing 1,38,000, in less than 6 months' time, I will still end up making a profit of 12,000 rupees. If I'm investing 13 lakh, I'll end up making a profit of 1,20,000 rupees. 6 months. Got the logic here? Got the picture here? So that is easily, roughly, if you see, it is close to 10%. 10% in just 6 months. With that, because of that, speculative demand will be very high. Exactly. Got the logic here? Clear, people? Any doubts? You can read the rest of it. It is pretty much straightforward. Coming to health related topics. Health related, first is headache. The headache, again, it can be, okay, first let us see. Pain originates from nearby structures such as blood vessels in the meninges, sensory nerves of the face and scalp, muscles of the neck, jaw, and the sinus. Meninges means right here. Face, scalp, over here. Muscles of the neck, jaw, sinus, nose. Any of these area, you generally call it a headache. Then there are people like me who will definitely, to avoid irritating people, will say, oh my god, my head is paining. All right. मुझे इंग्लिश बोलना है, क्या करूं? बोलो, आराम से बैठकर बोलो. Okay, what could be the reasons for it? So meninges is this thing, this part. Those things and all, you need not worry. Multiple reasons are there behind headache. All right, multiple reasons are there. So let us see what are those reasons again. No single cause. First one, dehydration can trigger headaches by disrupting fluid balance in the body. If you are not drinking water properly, it will affect you. Next thing is what? Missed meals can trigger headache by lowering blood glucose level. So those people who generally eat on time and when they skip a meal suddenly because of XYZ reason, they will also get a headache, and that is because of low glucose. Poor sleep can disturb hormonal regulation and pain control pathways and provoke headache. You are not sleeping well, again this will create trouble. Clear? Alcohol can trigger headaches through dehydration. How many of you had Happy New Year? I don't know. But let me tell you, alcohol when you drink, it actually causes dehydration. Then there are idiots who will mix alcohol with Pepsi or alcohol with Red Bull or other so-called energy drink. Energy drinks are basically nothing but they contain high amount of caffeine and high amount of sugar, both of which will increase your heart rate. What does alcohol do? Well, alcohol will dehydrate you. Suck the water in your body from your tissues, etc. That is why sometimes when I stand next to a 42-year-old, let us say, or a 30-year-old guy. All right, 30-year-old guy, and he'll be treating me like a kiddo. And I will know, okay, he has started to treat me like a kid. I'll just keep quiet. Later, when some point of conversation, he will have a doubt. How old are you? I'll be like, I am going to hit 40. He'll be like, how come? What is the secret? Alcohol, cigarette, two things. Even tea, coffee, they all actually dehydrate you. So along with that dehydration, you are taking in caffeine and sugar instead of water. Your kidneys will be singing Jai Ho. On top of it, your brain will be confused. Alcohol actually calms your nerves. The so-called energy drink, Pepsi, Cola, whatever. Sir, I drink Sprite, everything has caffeine and sugar. That increases your heart rate, which will increase your brain activity. So one side your brain is signaling to calm down, on another side brain is telling to increase activity. Your brain will be in a state of confusion. If you are very lucky, coma. If you are really lucky, tathastu. Infections can cause headaches through immune activation and inflammation. That is basically if you are having high jaundice, high fever, all of that. Exactly. Dehydration causes wrinkles. Bright light can overstimulate sensitive neural pathways and trigger headache. Bright light, exactly. Night time. Holding your phone, reading, watching movie. Most headaches are not dangerous. A sudden and extremely severe headache requires urgent medical attention. Headache accompanied by fever and neck stiffness requires urgent medical attention. Just general points. Nothing great about it. Cleft lip. Tata bye bye. Next point is cleft lip. What is cleft lip? Cleft lip basically means there is a cut in the upper lip, sometimes even in the lower lip. This generally happens by birth. So some kids will be having a cut where their teeth or their entire mouth is exposed and that cut extends up to their nose. So sometimes what happens is when you see the baby, I have seen many Instagram videos also where babies will be initially when they are born, they will be like having this deformity. But it is not something which is uncurable or something. One simple surgery, if you just stitch it up, you can stitch it up, it will heal. Because babies' tissues and skins are very soft. Got the point? It is very soft. It will heal very faster. By the time the baby like starts going to school, etc., that mark, nothing will be there. Got the point? But the issue here is, many a times, as usual, people are not aware that treatments are available, especially the poor. So let us look into a few data regarding it. 36,000 babies are born with cleft lip or palate annually. That is, that cut will be there, which will even make it difficult for them even to drink milk, etc. Correct? More than 750,000 cleft surgeries have been performed in the last 25 years annually by Smile Train. 15 lakh children benefited through cleft surgeries by other NGOs in the last 20 years. 7,000 corrective cleft surgeries is the annual backlog. That is, at least 7,000 children are there who are not getting these surgeries. 17.5 lakh children living with unrepaired cleft lip and or palate. So unrepaired cleft lip means it actually will cause a lot of, let me tell you, inferiority complex. Because it is not just the lip part. Sometimes what happens is, if the surgery is done a little later in life, they will have a telltale nasal sound when they speak. That is, when they speak, it will be with their nose also will get involved. So, and their appearance also will change. So this will affect their confidence to a very high level. So it is very important that these surgeries are conducted before the child turns, let us say, 2 years, 3 years, etc. As early as possible, it is done. Ooh, Devame. Exactly. See, then it depends again, because where the surgery is done, how early the intervention, medical intervention was given, in all this it will matter. Should we not consume black coffee? Black coffee, it is good if you have it early in the morning. That is good, because early in the morning after a good sleep, you are having it, it is good. But otherwise also, generally speaking, coffee and tea can actually make your skin dehydrated. So drink enough amount of water. 68% children with cleft abnormalities rely on government hospitals for initial diagnosis. 3 months post-birth life-transforming cleft surgery is possible these days. Ulcerative colitis. I'll explain it to you what it is. Again, this image will basically tell you what it is. On one side, you are having high fiber food. On the other side, you are having junk and jamad. This tastes nice, but it is highly bad for the intestine. This tastes like bakwas, but it is highly good for the intestine. Vegetarians are sitting and laughing at the corner. It's okay. Correct. Correct. Curable after 15 to 16 years. Better early. The more you delay it, it will become difficult. Nobody is asking to have it on an empty stomach.